how have you shaped your strategies in the emerging markets? And can you maybe perhaps share a few examples for the audience as well to learn from? So yeah, please
Yeah,
tell
I
us.
think when we talk about government services out here in the region and specifically UAE, what we are seeing is a trend emerging that they're ready to adapt technology. They're ready to take the risks. They're ready to be at the forefront of whether it's blockchain, whether it's artificial intelligence. We have seen a minister of entrepreneurship being announced in a country, which I think is the first time globally. In that perspective, if you still look at how technology is actually being used within these organizations, and if you go deep dive into the amount of bureaucracy that still exists,
Yeah.
we are still far away from the bureaucracy, zero bureaucracy notion that His Highness has put out there. And this is where we come into play that we have been focusing on digitizing these government services by offering systems which are catered to economic zones through our ventures such as EZMS, whether it is the ability to issue the world's first AI based trade license, whether it's operating the first digital free zone in the UAE, which operates 24 by 7, whether it's the ability to offer permits instantaneously. So, from a free zone operator perspective, what we are seeing is a trend now that it's ripe, the region is ready, and what's helping is that the private sector is now partnering with the government because when a government touches something, it's going to amplify beyond what a B2B or a B2C is going to do.
Yeah.
So, in terms of adaptation from the government sector of AI, of technology, and of digitization, we believe that that's going to trickle down into the masses. And what you're going to see is a massive, massive shift of investment into these ventures, which are out there, not in a Mickey Mouse kind of way, where they just put in a layer of AI on top,
Yeah.
as in maybe speech to text kind of a
Yeah.
thing, but there's genuine algorithm learning. There's actual documents being stored on blockchain,
Yeah.
and we're looking forward to launching technologies out there here in the coming year. I think the first challenge that businesses are facing is that they're not adapting fast enough. Think of locations like Internet City. A friend of mine once said that what if you had a city called Water City because water was flowing through that city? And that's how now I see the world, whereby I am of the opinion that if you are not doing it already, you're late. If you're still thinking, you are late. If it's not just on paper and the execution hasn't started already, you're late. And are you out there to create value, or are you out there to just be an average person? Are you out there to fight all the pain and all the white noise and keep those security concerns on the side? Because you will have to find solutions to those problems. But which traditional business did not have a problem? You could have servers locked up in your office and you will still struggle because there might be a fire. You might still be locking your goods up in a safe and that could be robbed. So, what is truly safe from that perspective? Is your data safe? I mean, today's day and age, businesses are focusing on data capturing more than actually running a business. And we are willingly giving our data away. And that's okay because in return, I get to just clear the white noise and focus on what it is that I'm interested in. So, from that perspective, I think from a challenge that a business is facing today is we don't have enough service providers with enough know how of how to truly integrate these technologies into their day to day business. If you were into fashion and you did not know a Shopify exists, how are you going to go global? Are you catering to the local market or are you building for the globe, right? So, from that perspective, where the challenge is coming from is the lack of good, effective, affordable service providers that can effectively use these new age technologies such as storage of documents on blockchain, machine learning, AI, which is just basically another way of saying learning from algorithms, right?
Yeah.
How do we incorporate that into what we are doing today? How do we see a forum like this
Yeah.
being executed on AI in on the metaverse, and we can then truly invite a global audience to come invest in Sharjah?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. You mentioned a couple of good points here, but you did not mention funding. I mean, do you think funding is a challenge when it comes to technology and advancing technology?
If you look at the rate at which technology is evolving, and if you see the rate at which technology is becoming cheaper,
Is
we are not very far off from saying technology is affordable. Back in the day, I remember having to pay a lot of money just to have an internet connection. Today, I don't think any of us in this room ever take that into consideration from a cost perspective. And that is just the nature of technology. The sooner we jump onto that bandwagon, the sooner you'll have more service providers coming on, the sooner we will have more competition happening, and the sooner we can actually make it affordable for the globe.
Yeah, yeah,
I think AI is here to stay because we are seeing a shift of the mindset that the burden of a transaction, a burden of a process is being shifted to technology. And if today the most efficient form of that technology is coming in the shape and form of AI, then that shift is going to happen. And history is a good teacher, whereby if you look at the industries that existed 10, 15, 20 years ago, half of them or even more don't exist anymore.
yeah.
And if you as a business are not going to embrace AI, you're going to struggle and you're going to be wiped out.
So more jobs, less jobs, or better jobs?
Better job.
People will have to shift when it comes to what they're doing, because anything that's administrative, anything that's menial,
Yeah,
anything that's now being pushed from the perspective of AI to even creative,
yeah.
it's being handled by technology.
Okay.